have the exclusive. Olga.
We will hear from Ron Thomas speaking exclusively to KTLA. Also, a preliminary hearing this morning for those two officers charged in the beating death of Kelly Thomas.
Well, a preliminary hearing is set today for two Fullerton police officers charged with killing a homeless man.
It is a case that is expected to be closely watched nationally, as the Orange County DA will personally prosecute it himself. Meanwhile, the father of Kelly Thomas now speaking exclusively to KTLA in an interview only seen right here on Channel 5. KTLA's Olga Ospina is in Santa Ana with the details. Olga, good morning.
Good morning. Ron Thomas is speaking exclusively with KTLA about that infamous video, that shows the beating death of Kelly Thomas with those Fullerton police officers. Now, as you mentioned, that preliminary hearing for those two officers that are charged in the death of Kelly Thomas happening this morning here at the Orange County Courthouse. Now, the DA himself, Tony Rakakis, will be asking the judge to put the two officers on trial. This will be the first time in Orange County history that an officer faces a hearing on a murder charge for an incident that happened while on duty and in uniform. Both officers have been on leave since October. They're currently free on bail. Jay Cicinelli charged with involuntary manslaughter and excessive use of force. Manuel Ramos faces second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter charges. The Orange County District Attorney's Office spent 11 weeks going over evidence before deciding to file criminal charges. DA Tony Rakakis says the key evidence, that surveillance video from a camera at the Fullerton bus depot, also that cell phone video taken by witnesses. Kelly's father, Ron Thomas, spoke with KTLA this weekend. He says he had signed a legal agreement with the DA's office not to talk about the video he saw, but now he is speaking out about what he saw on those videos, what those Fullerton officers did to his son Kelly on July 5th of last year.
These are trained police officers that were doing this to somebody. It didn't stop. They kept going and kept going as he's begging for his life. He's begging for forgiveness. You can tell he doesn't know what to say anymore because he keeps trying different things. And there's still, Cicinelli's still tasing him as he's begging, please stop, God help me.
6 officers were involved in the incident with Kelly Thomas. 2 are facing charges, but after watching those videos, Mr. Thomas says a third officer, Joe Wolf, should also face criminal charges.
From the very beginning of hitting Kelly with his hands in the air, hitting him with that baton, which is a deadly weapon, Wolf was the first one on him, the last one off of him.
Again, that preliminary hearing scheduled to happen this morning, and the DA, Tony Rakakis, will be handling the prosecution himself. At the Orange County Courthouse, I'm Olga Ospina. Back to you guys in the studio.
Live in Santa Ana with the details. Olga, good morning.
Good morning. Ron Thomas has seen those videos of the beating death of his son Kelly. He has not been allowed to talk about it until now. We're going to hear from him. Also today, as you mentioned, that preliminary hearing for those 2 officers charged in the beating death of Kelly Thomas back in July of last year. Now, the DA himself will ask the judge to put the 2 officers on trial. This will be the first time in Orange County history that an officer faces a hearing. Mr. Thomas also talks about a third officer who he says should also face criminal charges, Officer Joe Wolf, and we'll have more on that coming up in the next hour. Again, that preliminary hearing is scheduled for this morning. That's the latest at the Orange County Courthouse. I'm Olga Ospina. Back to you guys in the studio.
Is in Santa Ana. Olga.
Good morning. Ron Thomas is speaking out about that video that shows the beating death of his son Kelly, and he is speaking exclusively with KTLA. It is going to be a packed courtroom here this morning at the Orange County Courthouse. Right behind me, you see the truck. Kelly's Army. Some supporters already have arrived here at the courtroom this morning. This morning is when the DA, Tony Rakakis, will ask the judge to put those 2 Fullerton police officers. The DA, Tony Rakakis, will be prosecuting the case itself. Again, that preliminary hearing set for this morning. That's the latest at the Orange County Courthouse. I'm Olga Ospina, KTLA 5 News.
All right, Olga, thanks for that.
Good morning. I'm Olga Ospina at the Orange County Courthouse for the preliminary hearing of those 2 Fullerton police officers charged in the beating death of Kelly Thomas.
Olga Ospina is in Santa Ana with that for us. Olga, good morning.
Good morning. Ron Thomas is speaking out for the first time about that infamous video about the beating death of his son Kelly, and he is talking about also a third officer who he says should also be facing criminal charges. But this morning, well, it is for the two officers who are facing those criminal charges. Orange County And you see that truck right there. It says Kelly's Army. Those are Kelly's supporters, and we have seen many of them arriving here in court today, so you can definitely expect a packed courtroom. Again, that hearing is set to start shortly. That's the latest from the Orange County Courthouse. Back to you guys in studio.
Olga, thanks for that.
Inside the courthouse in Santa Ana. Olga, good morning.
Good morning. That preliminary hearing should be starting at any moment now. In that video that you mentioned, Kelly Thomas's father is now speaking out about that. And that security video, well, the DA, Tony Rakakis, he will be presenting that in court here today. He's going to be asking the judge to have these two officers go to trial for the beating death of a homeless man in July. Now, the two officers who have these criminal charges against them, they have pled not guilty. The DA himself will be prosecuting the case in the courtroom. Again, that preliminary hearing will be starting here at any moment. That's the latest from the Orange County Courthouse. I'm Olga Ospina. Back to you guys in studio.
Olga, thank you.